I'm here from Norway, and I brought my wife, and last Monday we went on a long trip, first to Copenhagen, then to Boston, then on to Minneapolis. It was the first time I've ever felt what you've been talking about, because for some reason we sat in row 16 on all 3 flights, and on the flight from Copenhagen to Boston, the waiter, or what is he called, steward?
Flight attendant?
Yeah, flight attendant. He came and he...
Lifesaver?
Whatever. He came and he gave us all sorts of free service. We were in coach and we were supposed to pay for everything. He gave us everything for free, and he sat down, he talked to us, and he was telling us how wonderful the world is. And we sort of accepted that, and we went on to the next flight. And we've been looking to get into 3D printing for a long time. And we sat on the next flight and didn't talk to anyone, slept the whole way. And at the end, I woke up and my contact lenses were stuck. I had to get them out of my eyes, and I lost one of them. And the person next to me was starting to look for it with me. Couldn't find it, and the more we looked, the more we talked. And he said, you know, I'm an investor in 3D printing. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that for me, that was, this story is so good because it's contrast. It tells me that it is good because it usually doesn't happen.
Are you saying that sometimes something that appears contrasting in nature, like losing a contact lens, is actually the path of least resistance to something you're looking for?
Yes.
So if you really believed that things are always working out for you, then you'd be expecting wonderful outcomes no matter what. And that really is what step 5 is. Benefiting from contrast. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I think that in our everyday lives, the manifestations and experiences may be just the opposite. And then I'm probably way out of the vortex or something. I don't know.
Well, we can understand why you might think that, because we'll give you a very literal sense of what was going on there. So focus back on the train analogy and acknowledge that for whatever reason, you had more engines lined up taking you toward what you wanted than engines working in opposition. So you were more lighthearted, and each good thing that happened caused you to plunk another engine on. So you had more momentum going toward your advantage and less momentum going toward any disadvantage. So then a contrasting experience happened. But because of the positive momentum, this contrasting experience not only didn't hinder you, it actually was of benefit to you. It opened the door for conversation about something that you really wanted. So this helps us say to all of you that things are always working out for you, but your perception of them has to do with how much momentum you've got going toward your desire and how much momentum you've got going in opposition to your desire. So things have always been working out for you, but let's say that instead of you feeling more good than not good, that you had been feeling more not good. Let's say you hadn't gotten off on the right foot and you'd had some unpleasant things in your day-to-day now experience that had you pushing against things. And let's say that you were like most people, you're observing what's happening, and so it happens, you feel it, you flow it, it happens. And so let's say you were on that sort of, and let's say that under those conditions you lost a contact lens. Well, your timing would have been different. You wouldn't have been with a helpful person, perhaps. That person may have still been asleep, or that person may have been doing something else. You have so much control. Law of attraction and timing are the same words, because law of attraction is always operating in the powerful now. Law of attraction isn't operating in your yesterday or in your tomorrow. Law of attraction is operating in your powerful now. So whatever you're feeling now explains why things unfold the way they do. And it really comes down to something very simple. You're either receptive to help or you're blocked off to help.
So when I feel angry about something, it never
You're blocked
works
off.
out.
You're blocked off. We like this analogy So life causes you to know that you do want something. And let's say that you actually are able to articulate, I want this, and you plunk an engine down going that way. So that engine is going that way and will continue to go that way and will gather momentum on its own because your inner being is tending it. Law of attraction is responding to that thought. So it is moving. Now this is so important for you to hear this. As your engine is moving that way, and forgive the rudimentary analogy, but it will help you. As your engine is moving that way, and you are not moving, that engine moving will give you a little stress. Let's say your feet are nailed to the track, but the engine is pulling you that way. You will feel stress. Now, not as much stress as if you had an engine going that way, but not moving in the direction of your momentum does feel uncomfortable. Therefore, this is the most powerful and factual thing that we've ever said to anyone. The existence of your desire will automatically produce stress within you unless you let go and move with your desire. So the very existence of negative emotion means that you've got a desire. The very existence of negative emotion means your source, your inner being is calling you. In other words, the existence of negative emotion means that help is on the way. And so don't be angry at yourself about your anger. Say, oh good, this is good news. This means I'm pulling against something. And what is it that I'm pulling against? My momentum, my success, my inner being, and what my inner being knows. And then tack onto this knowledge a few personal experiences where you witness with your own eyes things working out for you, and then little by little you become more of a cooperative component to your own allowance of things. And once you get rolling, once those things start stacking up, once this conversation leads to this conversation. Esther was playing with a friend a few weeks ago. They were working on a project together that was more about what he was doing than what she was doing, but she was helping him with this project, and they were high-fiving each other every 5 minutes because the thoughts that they were thinking and the fun that they were having just led to event after event after event after event that was just jaw-dropping. Nothing extraordinary in the sense that you couldn't understand how it happened. It was a consistent, constant sequence of it that left them breathless. And they said to one another many, many times, no one can ever explain that the universe isn't on our side and that things aren't working out for us. The evidence is too profound. Well, hearing it about someone else, hearing that a jet came and delivered one woman to the Chicago event is well and good and maybe even humorous, but when it happens to you, it's meaningful. Finding a $9,000 diamond in the bushes, if it happens to somebody else, oh, it's a coincidence, or maybe she was doing something different than I'm doing, or maybe she's just lucky, and maybe Abraham's just making a big deal out of what luck really is. But when it happens to you, when you are privy to the desire that's within you and the conversations that are within you, when you witness the universal response to your vibration, and when you're consciously aware of the vibration that you're offering, then this all begins to make sense. If you're just stumbling into things and you're not able to acknowledge the correlation between what you were thinking and what you were feeling and the manifestations, then you don't have hands-on access to how it works. But when it's happening to you like that, oh,
it's wonderful.
then you know.
Yes.
Then you know.
Yes.